Today's YouTube video, we're going to be talking about visualization, how you can use this to manifest. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it in the beginning scientifically. So visualization, uh, I'm not sure what exact study this is, but they put um, those patches on your brain, so basically on your head, and then it measures what neurons are firing and what circuits are firing. And they found that during a visualization experiment, so let's say you're a sprinter and you're about to uh, prepare for a race. They found that if you visualize yourself sprinting or racing, the same neurons fire as if you were actually doing um, the sprinting or the event. So this goes to show you that your brain really cannot distinguish between actually doing the event and not, because you're visualizing yourself doing it. That's how powerful your mind is. So how can we use this? Knowing this, we could use this strategically. That's why in manifestation, they talk about visualization. They use vision boards. So what is a vision board? A vision board is basically a board that has a lot of different things you want. So maybe you want a certain car. So you might have a picture of a car on there, a very specific car. So let's just go with uh, for me, a Nissan hardbody drop down truck, maybe would be on 16-inch rims, and you want it to be specific. So I would say I wanted tinted windows, two-tone paint. So on the bottom I want it to be black, pinstripe, maybe gray to separate the black, and then on the purple I would want and then on the top I would want purple. So black, pinstripe, gray, and then on the top purple. And then you want it to be specific too, you know what I mean? So maybe if you want chrome trim or whatever, and then go on the inside as well too. This is more for the visualization part. The outside look would be for the vision board, but the actual visualization, so you want to make it as custom as you want it. So for me, I would do kind of like a cream uh like seats. So cream seats, but then the trim, I would want the trim to be kind of like a chocolate, and then things like that. And then probably like a red LED setup for the music and things like that. But stick shift, you know what I mean? I prefer standard, so stick shift, probably 5 speed. That's probably what it would come with. I mean, I could change things around, you know what I mean? Swap engines and stuff like that. But basically, that's kind of how you want to do your vision board. That was just an example of a car. Maybe you want a house. So let's say you want a 3-story house, maybe 5 bedroom, 3 bath, or whatever it is. You want to be as specific as you can, because this is what you're going to be visualizing. So that is the purpose of the vision board, is you're having it and it's like a subliminal. It's a mental representation of exactly what you want or something pretty similar. You don't want it to be so off that if you get it, it's kind of off-putting. Like you're gonna be how come this is what I got, you know what I mean? So you want to get it to as close, if not exactly what you want. How I do it is, I every day in the morning when I wake up, I talk to God, you know what I mean? Say thank you for protecting me while I sleep, giving me messages, all of that stuff. Talk to my ancestors, and then after I do that, I visualize. So I normally have a notebook. I have a notebook written with my goals. I go over my goals and um, I have drawings. So instead of like a vision board, you could also do drawings. You could draw different things out. You could cut out magazine clippings, things like that. But that's what I do. I visualize. And the purpose of the visualization is to put yourself in that mindset of already having it. Like if it was just you're sitting in the actual truck. So I'm sitting right now in the truck. That this comes from the movie The Law of Attraction. There's other people that talk about it, but I'm referencing the law of attraction. They talk about vision boards and things like that. And this, I think, specific example. So they say to visualize yourself inside the car you want. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? You want to get your senses involved. So, like how I said with the racing, the neurons fire, and you can't tell that you're not actually running the race. Similar situation here with the visualization. You want to make it so it's like you're in that car that you want. Like, what does it smell like to you? You know what I mean? Does it have that fresh smell? Does it have a vanilla scent hanging from the mirror? Or does it have, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of smell does it have? What does it feel like? And anytime you visualize, you want to visualize that. Visualize the feeling of what it's like in the current moment. Like, right now, you have it. And then I do this, like I said, in the morning, but I also do this at night. So just before I go to sleep, I'll do the same kind of rituals as I said in the morning, and I'll visualize. But then I'll also give my mind a task. So if I'm trying to solve a problem, I'll say, okay, while I'm sleeping, I want the solution to this problem. And it might take, a little while, it might take a couple nights, might take a week or whatever, but eventually I'll get the answers that I'm looking for. That's kind of the best way to do it. I mean, your subconscious mind is uh, gets to kind of roam freely when you're sleeping, and your mind is always trying to find ways to solve problems. That's what it's supposed to do. Um, so that's why the best time to do it is at nighttime. Give your mind the task of solving whatever problem, or just um, kind of just thinking about something. So that's called framing. Framing is when kind of you set the tone for what you want your mind to think about. So just before you go to sleep, that's why a lot of people they have nightmares when they watch scary movies, like just before they go to sleep, because that's what they thought about, or that's what they saw just before they went to sleep. So similar situation with the visualization, and then giving your mind a task is that's the last thing that happened before you went to sleep. So your mind will recall that and it will focus on that. Uh, and that's kind of the main thing about manifestation is staying in the vibration or the feeling of already having. That's why a lot of people say to be in a high vibration. So what are high vibrations? They're things like love, they're things like happiness, joy, freedom, whatever it is you want. A lot of the times that's what manifestation is about. So let's say I wanted that car. Um, what is the underlying reason that I wanted that specific truck? Um, it's a childhood car, you know what I mean? I've seen that car a lot. I like the body style and everything, so that's one of the reasons. But like an underlying reason is just uh I mean, if I'm being kind of transparent, I would say maybe the attention. I was trying to gear it towards something else, like not attention, but I kind of wanted to say freedom. Um, the freedom to go around where I wanted to, but then that's where it comes in is um, there's like underlying things that you want. So a lot of people they want freedom, they want financial freedom, they want freedom to go on trips, whenever. Like they don't want to have to um, let their job know. They want to go when they want to go, so they want freedom. They want relationships. They want trust. They want family. They want kids. It's all basically like a general feeling of love, freedom, respect, um, all things like that. It's kind of basic, and then all the way you get it is kind of like the fillers. The base thing you want would be like the love, respect, the freedom, but you're using different things. So like I said, the car, the house, and whatever else you want, you're using those things to basically get the underlying feelings. That's kind of why I was saying um there's like a deeper reason. I mean, attention could be it, but I don't. I've kind of always been one to shy away from attention just because I always got it. Um, yeah. So I think I was kind of conditioned in that way to shy away from attention when maybe I'm supposed to be getting the attention for whatever reason, you know? But I am an example for others, so I take pride in that. I try to live my life that way, set an example for others, you know, especially younger generations. They can look at someone like me and see that I kind of came from nothing, you know, and I built a life and they can do the same thing. So it's all about motivation. Um, and then just um, finding different ways of getting information. So, like, you have the internet, you have books, podcasts, um, and even people like mentors, looking for people, finding people who have what you want or they're doing the things you want to do. Those are like the best people, you know. So search out those people, and if you can't, the best next thing would be books. But it's really, manifestation is pretty simple when you kind of really start doing it, but I would say it's only simple when you do like your shadow work. Like, a lot of people have a hard time because it creates internal conflict. Like, oh, you're never going to get that car. Like, limiting beliefs. You're never going to get that car. You're never going to get that house, or it can't be that easy, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Everyone has limiting beliefs. You need to identify those and constantly work on them because they'll come up all the time. That's why it's a limiting belief. You're probably limiting yourself right now with these beliefs because it's basically running on autopilot. You might be saying things over and over in your head to yourself, like negative self-talk, like, oh, you're not going to be good at that, so don't try, or that's never going to work. You know what I mean? Everyone has doubts and fears, but the people who really succeed and really set the tone for others are the ones who can quiet that voice and have their desires or goals so ingrained into them, like they will succeed at all costs. Like, it doesn't matter what they have to do or what they have to sacrifice, like they will get it done. That's what they want, that's what they're gonna do. And that's another thing too, is just being sure. Like, a lot of people have a hard time with that, is just being like sure, like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to get, this is what I have, and then also like this is what I deserve. A lot of people get stuck in that mentality, like, oh, that's too much, you know what I mean, I shouldn't have that much, or what about all these other people? It's good to help others, but don't limit yourself based on what other people have or what other people want for you. God has a plan for you, and his plan a lot of the times is to give you everything you want. But remember, like I said, it like freedom, love, respect, it's those base feelings that you kind of have to look out for, because God will only give you things that you truly need and truly desire. So that's the thing about manifestation you have to realize is, don't really get stuck on the outcome or exactly what it looks like, because you might get something in the in between, and that might be similar to what you wanted, but then something else might come along and then that might be like the perfect fit. So another example from the movie The Secret is, I think they said something like your first house is never like the first, or no, your first house is not normally the one. It was something along those lines. But what they're saying is that was like an interim. That was like a good for now, but something better is coming that will fulfill all your desires. So just be aware of that. Like, God might be giving you whatever you have now just for now, but you need to remain faithful. Like, okay, do your part, like stay in the right mindset, stay in the right vibration, work on the limiting beliefs, and then also um, working on the internal conflict. Um, yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean, manifestation is real. I mean, I'm not really here to convince you. I'm just sharing my experience with it, and it 100% works for me. So I highly suggest you look into it or give it a try. I mean, if it doesn't work, you're really not going to lose anything. You're just going to be in the same exact spot you are in now. So you really have nothing to lose, just everything to gain. And then, like I said, maybe you'll get something that'll be in the interim, and you'll be like, wow, like, this, I got something, and it's towards along the lines of what I wanted. And then maybe later on down the road, it's like, okay, you get exactly what you wanted. But yeah, manifestation, everything is energy. So that's another thing too, is like it's a mindset shift. Your whole concept of reality will change. Like, it's about taking responsibility for everything. So how are you affected by the environment? How is it affecting your nervous system? How are you showing up in the world? Is that how you want to be received? I mean, don't change yourself to fit in, but be as authentic to yourself as you can be, and the right things will come towards you. That's basically what God wants you to do, is just be who He made you to be. I mean, that might be hard for some people. They want to fit in or whatever. There's always societal pressures to do certain things and then to let others go. But yeah, that's pretty much it about manifestation. But you can always look it up. So the law of attraction, and then there's other laws of the universe as well. So that goes along with manifestation, or just the flow of energy and how things work. So you probably want to look at that. That's like a good resource as well. The laws of the universe. Um, that'll help you a lot as well. But as always, be on the lookout for other content. Like, subscribe, share. Check out my website if you're interested in any of my services. Let me know. Also, let me know what other topics you want to have me talk about and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll see you on the next video.